more money, more problems like Biggie. And the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one do you believe is more accurate?
Biggie all the way, more money, more problems. Like, let's keep it real.
Talk
I'm
to
in New
us.
York, and let's be, no, I'm joking. But no, all jokes aside, it really is more money, more problem. And the reason why it's more money, more problem is because realistically, if you don't know how to properly house your money, if you made $1 million, but you didn't learn about tax infrastructure things, guess what happens to you?
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag.
What's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to...
What's up, my FY Fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today, we're going to be chopping up with the owner of BMU Meta, which is a crypto hedge fund and educational platform for folks who want to learn about stocks, crypto, and the metaverse. How are you, Dr. Jatali? How are you?
I'm doing amazing. It's been an amazing month, and this year has just been activated on the next level.
Yeah.
So happy to be here with you, and happy to have met you at FinCon last week.
Yes, ma'am. I was so fit to ask you, how's everything been since FinCon? Been rocking and rolling?
Oh man, I can't even explain to you how many things I've done since FinCon, but
Yeah.
just know that it's winning season.
Come on, dog. What we say is a whole lot of money in it.
It's a whole lot of money. If anybody's seen on Ellie's page, Ellie Talks Money, shout out to the girl, Ellie Talks Money. She had us over here doing reels and TikToks and all kinds of stuff.
Hurt.
But it's definitely a whole lot of money in the room.
Come on now. And now that we at FY Fly, we really like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff, baby. So I want to know, the first question that comes to my mind is, hedge fund? That's major.
Yes.
That is major.
Thank you.
So can you start by telling us, like, what is a hedge fund and, like, what was your thought process behind creating yours?
So for starters, for anyone who don't know, a hedge fund simply is a pooling of investments into one fund. And so it usually helps people who maybe might have a limited budget or just would like to risk adverse. And they would like to try to find a more stable way to invest in multiple different investments. So you have mutual funds and ETFs, which are the two main known types of hedge funds. To give you an example, so like a crypto hedge fund operates like a stock market's mutual fund or ETF. What is the difference between the two? A mutual fund will be, let's say, different types of like areas of investment, such as technology, real estate,
the different sectors and
aviation, the different sectors. Where an ETF would be a pooling of multiple stocks from the same or multiple companies from the same sector, such as, you know, an ETF would be like all energy or all real estate portfolio. And it'll be like, you know, or all technology, like it'll be Apple and Tesla and all these companies all in one portfolio. So my crypto hedge fund operates more like a mutual fund where we have different type of crypto tokens and NFTs that are assets that are being invested into, but it'll be from different backgrounds. So some of them might be functional NFTs and cryptos that are more about the utility. It could be about just the investment aspect of like, okay, these are infrastructure wise, something that is a crypto token that you should have. And some of them will be because of the growth potential, or they might be high risk. You know, it might be like a meme token or crypto, like a Doge type or Shiba type. Me personally, the more of those meme tokens you have, that brings your risk level up higher. And so for me, our mutual crypto hedge fund, which operates like the mutual fund, operates more on a 3.54 risk level, which means that we don't have a lot of high risk investments in there, but our strategies will be what's going to hopefully get you the highest investments in return.
Long term. So it's long term play.
So mine is more long term play, but in that long term, you're making a minimum of 30%. So when you look at a stock market to mutual fund, to give you an example, they average for low risk, you're averaging 4 to 7%, and for high risk, you might get 20, the maximum 30%. The cool thing about a crypto hedge fund,
Makes sense.
you're able to make an average for your low risk or low to mid risk. You're averaging 30 to 40% in a year with that.
Okay.
Flow. And then when you take the flip side of the high risk, sometimes you can get 1 to 200% in a year if you're taking that ultimate high risk with a crypto hedge fund. So that's a really cool thing about this space, right? And you know, I've done those investments where I've made 100 to 200% profit in less than a year or a year and a half. And so just basically now managing other people's investments and allowing them that opportunity.
Okay. So like, when it comes to this whole new world, we got Web3, you know, the things that you mentioned, Metaverse, you know, NFTs, digital real estate, all these new different assets. In your opinion, where would you suggest someone start studying to become knowledgeable about them? Like, is crypto the foundation? Is the Metaverse where we need to start? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So there's something called the blockchain. What does it mean? What is a blockchain, right? Think about your bank statement, right? When you have a bank account or any kind of credit card or debit card, you have a ledger, and a ledger basically lets you know how much you spent, where you spent it, and all this basic information. Now, is it fully transparent? Not necessarily, because when you put your money in a bank account, what ends up happening with the bank account is that the bank will basically borrow your money, your savings, right? And they don't let you know they're doing that. So you think your money's in a bank account and perfectly safe, but for every dollar you put in the bank, they're making 10 to 20, sometimes 30% for every dollar you put in your account.
Trading that joint, investing that joint.
Right? And you don't realize that, right? You don't necessarily know how or what they're putting your money into. They could be using your money for arms for as much as you know, and you have no idea. But the flip side of that is, as well, savings account, the bank on average will only give you 0.03 to 0.09% on your money. And so if you have like a credit union and certain other accounts, you might get 2%, 3%, but they have you fooled to think that 3% is a lot of money when you save it. And then they tell you how many times you could pull out from that money, how much, how low your account can go. The cool thing about a blockchain and about the blockchain is that it's a transparent ledger, which means if they wanted to use your money and to flip it, double it, triple it, they actually have to transparently let you know what they're going to be taking your money and supposedly putting your money into.
Yeah,
it is
because you can see it all out there, right?
At all times. And then on top of that, you actually have to stake or give them your money and put it in a particular savings account, giving them permission to do that. So your money actually is your money. So if you don't put it up to stake, which is a form of savings in a crypto space, you know, then they can't do anything with your money. Your money's on their platform. And the only thing it does is actually help them look more valid as a company, as a blockchain, because your money's on their platform. But they can't do anything with your money. And they offer you so that you can, so that they can make money off of your money. They offer you incentives. Like they'll offer you 9% on staking your money on their platform, aka saving your money on their platform. Sometimes 6%, which off the bat, you're looking at rates that the normal banks aren't necessarily giving you unless you have $1 million plus in their account.
And I've seen that before, and I'm like, 9%. I'm like, is that too good to be true? I'm like, is that true?
It's true. And there are certain coins that you can invest in, like Ethereum, that are more stable, or like even if you're afraid of the fluctuation in the price of like Ethereum as a coin, then you can invest in like a coin that is US stable, US backed, like USDC, where you're looking at, if you put $10,000 in, USDC does not go up and down in value.
It's stable coin, right?
It's the stable coin. And so with that said, that exciting part of this space, the first thing I would tell someone to learn is blockchain. When you can learn about the blockchain, it teaches you everything else. It's a trickle effect, because NFTs are backed by the blockchain. Cryptos are backed by the blockchain. Metaverse backed by the blockchain. Everything is backed by the blockchain. And so when you can learn about that aspect of things, it opens up a whole other world for you. Because even virtual real estate, imagine people are actually doing their contracts now on this blockchain. And when you have this transparent ledger, even the people who get like rug pulls or get robbed and have someone steal their tokens, imagine if you get robbed and your money gets stolen. Most of the time, if you read the contract, it'll tell you, hey, we're going to take $10,000 from you in 2 weeks. And sometimes it's just all about reading the fine print. So it's like, I'm getting robbed, but legally getting robbed, because like you're telling me I'm going to rob you. I just didn't read the fine print. And so this is also another way that the transparency of what's happening most of the time, if you're paying attention or looking at the fact that, hey, you're not looking at the fact that this is the wrong email address. This is not the address that you were supposed to be even, signing into your wallet with. And so there's just so many cool aspects in this new world.
Mhm.
I feel like it's limitless.
So I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, is what you described with the, like, comparing how the banks and then comparing like the new crypto blockchain system, is that what DeFi is?
So DeFi stands for decentralized finance.
Uh-huh.
And so DeFi would more likely refer to like the crypto tokens, the coins that you're investing in.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you're taking the banking industry out of the equation and you're not backing it by the US dollar, it might be like kind of like the barter system. You're backing it necessarily with your own token, your own goods, or whatever your purpose might be. That is a
Gotcha.
decentralized finance action of like a crypto token. But like an NFT, because it could be art, it could be music, it could be a lot of different things, virtual real estate, that has not
Yeah.
necessarily decentralized finance per se, although you will be utilizing decentralized finance in order to purchase sometimes that crypto, that art. But there are platforms like
Okay.
OpenSea where you can, depending what state you're in or what country you're in, use a credit card, a regular American credit card or a regular British credit card, the list continues, to actually invest in virtual real estate.
Okay, one more term that I want you to define for some people that I know before I really started interviewing these folks and diving into this Web3 world, I didn't know exactly how it pertained to NFTs and cryptos and things of that nature. So can you define the word that you said, utility, and how it's used in this space?
So keep in mind, let's say, for instance, you're buying an NFT. Myself, I have a crypto NFT. It's called Creatures of Wealth. It's not
Okay.
just a utility NFT. The utility aspect of it would be the fact that it can unlock actual certain perks, right? So like, let's say, for instance, you had an event that you were throwing a party and you
Yeah.
only wanted people who had this particular NFT to be able to attend this party. That would be the utility of it. It would be like an exclusive, exclusive uses of being able to go to this party. That is one of the utilities of it. Another utility or function of it would be functionality, being able to say, oh, because you have this, you can enter my hedge fund. So like my crypto hedge fund, you can
Makes
invest
sense.
in my crypto hedge fund. You're not whitelisted until you actually have this particular, my NFT that allows you to actually invest in it. And what is a whitelist? Imagine
You know, I was
being
about to
able-
ask that. You know, I was about to. Hey, come
so
on
a
now.
whitelist, right, is imagine
Yeah.
an exclusive list, like, or keys to a house. Let's say you own a mansion and there's like 5 different floors, and to get
Yeah.
to each floor, there's a special key, and you have to give this person a special key. A whitelist is basically a list that allows you access to certain floors and certain rooms.
Come on,
so
analogy.
a lot of
Come on. I like
and
it.
so a lot of these NFT projects that you're going to invest in, what you're going to notice with them is exactly that there are access levels. And for you to
Okay.
actually have access to it, you might have to purchase like an NFT. And that NFT will then allow you a special access to do so. Or there's this community called Discord. What is a Discord? Discord is an app that allows a lot of people to monitor their communities and communicate with each other, do raffles and giveaways, or even do something like, hey, if you invite 3 people to join this community, then it will give you a whitelist, a special permission to be able to buy this NFT before it's even released. So a lot of the people in this community want to be whitelisted so that they can have special access to certain rooms or certain launch dates or launch projects. And so the coolest thing about functionality and utility is not sometimes just pretty art, because like, you know, sometimes it's about the function, right? Does it actually give you access to something that you maybe might not have had access to prior to? Like Bored Ape Yacht Club is a very popular NFT that a lot of people talk about. But one of the functionalities of a Bored Ape was that it allowed you exclusive merchandise. It allowed you to go to events where there was the red carpet was for everyone. And if you own a Bored Ape, you would be in a room with someone like, let's say, Kevin Hart, who actually owns a Bored Ape, and there would be no separation between you and Kevin Hart. So you are equally as much of a celebrity as Kevin Hart because you
that
both
exclusive
own
community
the same
feel.
NFT. And so just that was itself a utility / a function, right? It allowed you to be the only person who could buy tickets to attend this event and go to something that only holders have access to. And so with that said, these are the kind of functionalities and things that are really a blessing for people that people don't even think about. And so that's what I want you to understand is like an NFT goes beyond just beauty, although it can just be something like, oh, I think this art looks pretty. It might never have any function. It might never even go up in value, and you're buying it just because it looks beautiful. And those are those NFTs as well. Because sometimes art is just art.
I think what I want everybody to take away from this is this new technology that is, not even coming anymore. It's here. I want us to start. And that's why I asked you that question, like, where should we even start? Like, what's the foundation for this? Because, we're hearing so many different metaverse, Web3, NFTs, all these different things. And it can get overwhelming for some people. But can you touch on, like, why do you think, like, if you had to give like one main reason, why do you think it's so important for us to learn about this new technology instead of shying away from it?
So if I'm giving one reason, I'll give a short story. I had a client of mine because I invest in real estate. I do syndication deals, real estate syndication deals. I do a flip. The list continues. I had a client. I made her a lot of money. I made her about 62% in 9 months. And we were about to hit 70%. And while we were about to hit 70, she's like, can you help my husband? Because he made $84 million last year. And he doesn't really know real estate wise where to dive in. And I was like, oh, for shizzle. Like, I got you. I'm about to, And then so when we start speaking and I start discussing real estate flips and some of the tax liabilities and how he can, diversify into the real estate portfolio into investments and have more write-offs, so his tax liability wouldn't be so high. I was like, do you mind my asking how you made your $84 million? And this man let me know that he took $750,000 out on his house and he invested with a couple other people and did a concert. And he did a virtual concert in the metaverse. And he had celebrities. And I won't name the celebrities, so I don't want to give away who the person was. When he had these celebrities for this particular event, some of the celebrities weren't even going to plan on showing up. So he pre-recorded them doing their performances and pretending like he's doing engagement with the crowd because it's a metaverse. No one knows if you're physically there or not. And so pretending like, they were avatars that were pre-planned to be performing the day of the actual concert to make it look like he was like shouting out real people that were dancing. I see you doing your Dougie, and it's like your avatar doing a Dougie. And then he explained that from the $750,000 investment that he did, setting up the metaverse location, hiring and paying the contracts for all these celebrities to promote it on their pages, he was able to make $84 million. Out of that $84 million, $750,000 from one event. And this is people from worldwide, Singapore, and then he stacked on different assets. He was able to stack on things like, hey, if you want this celebrity to mention your name in their next song, you could pay $500,000 for it. And there were people in Asian countries that were paying for that.
Dropping that bag on it.
And so there were just so many deliverables that he was able to stack on from this one virtual event. Something that he didn't have to hire real security. He just had to make sure that his actual back house on the internet and the World Wide Web was secure. And there were just so many safety parameters that he was able to really set up. And so looking at that space and how he was able to take $750,000 and turn it into $84 million. Granted, not everyone has $750,000. It made me start jumping down that rabbit hole. Then I started engaging other friends who were in this space. And then they were telling me how they took $30,000 to turn it into like $1 million from a virtual event. Then I had my own art event, and I had an artist who the most she's ever gotten paid before for an art gallery event was $2,000 for one of her pieces. She made her first $11,000 in the virtual world, selling a piece from someone in Singapore. And then he paid her an additional $5,500 to mail to him the physical piece to Singapore. And now he's one of her top paid clients, someone who never would have actually met her probably because
it wasn't for that metaverse.
If it wasn't for the metaverse. And so if I had to give you one piece of knowledge and information is that, and then the fact that the metaverse also and the virtual space of crypto and decentralized finance allows you to become your own bank. What does that mean? There are platforms where you can stake your own money. So you could take the guy who did the 84 million, he took 42 million of that money. He put it on like a platform, a liquidity protocol platform, which we're going to have to dive into another time.
No, I love that. Yo, are you ready to hit your next level? Do you want to increase your drive, destiny, and dollars? Well, if so, check out my new book, From College to COVID, 24 Lessons Learned During the Lockdown, where I've compiled 5 of the biggest lessons I learned going from college to COVID to starting my financial literacy empire, FYFly, plus 19 lessons from your favorite entrepreneurs, entertainers, and athletes that have been featured on our show. There's literally something for everyone. So purchase your copy today at fyfly.com/from college to COVID. Let's go. We got one more question for you, Dr.
Yes.
Jatali. I'm going to read you 2 quotes, and I need you to tell me which one is more accurate in your opinion, all right?
Okay.
All right, bet. So the first one is more money, more problems, like Biggie. And the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one do you believe is more accurate?
Biggie all the way. More money, more problems. Like, let's keep it. I'm in New York, and let's be. Oh, okay. But no, all jokes aside, it really is more money, more problem. And the reason why it's more money, more problem is because realistically, if you don't know how to properly house your money, if you made $1 million but you didn't learn about tax infrastructure things, guess what happens to you? You might be paying $300,000 or $333,000 in just taxes, which meant only $1 million. You're only banking not even the $700,000 sometimes, not even $800,000 of that money. You are deducting $330,000 from that $1 million that you made. That $330,000 going to the government just because you didn't know how to properly structure yourself. So the more money you make, the higher your tax deductions are going to be potentially, unless you're properly housed. So you need to learn about taxes. You need to learn your proper deductions. You need to have a living trust or a trust for your real estate. If you're investing in real estate, anything you do, you can have a trust, honestly. Even if you were to die tomorrow and you were like 70 years old, understanding that you could be leaving your family a lot of tax deductions that they have to worry about, and a high amount of that money might be going to them, even if it's your insurance. And then the more money you have as well, you have to start worrying about what zip code you live in. Because if people know how much money you've made, then you might have to start worrying about where do you live, And so realistically, there are more problems sometimes with that money. And then also making sure you don't have leeches on you, because realistically, when you start to make more money, there are people who are going to be gravitating towards you because you just look and smell like money, right? And then it's like, she's in this room, or she's driving that, or she has on this watch or this flex. She has
perception. Perception
is very, very important. So be very careful, guys, understanding that there are more problems when you have money, but there are there's ways to navigate all of these dramas and issues that could potentially arise. It's just about being smart and not backwards, and retaining more of your money.
Because it's not about how much money you can make.
It's about how you pay.
Come on now.
And I know a lot of people, between their expenses, their deductions, that they weren't banking a lot of their money, and you're paying. Who wants to pay $300,000-$400,000 in taxes?
Gotta finesse with some of them deductions. Come on now.
I'm just saying. So on that note, that's basically it.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming by and dropping these gems on the FY Fly podcast. If you got any final words for them, let them know where they can reach you. Go ahead.
At Jatali Bellanton on Instagram and Twitter. Be careful with those fake pages. So at JATALI BELLANTON, or at BMU Meta, BMUMETA. And so that's Instagram, that's Twitter for both of those pages. And I never ask for money on no social media platform. So with that said, be very careful out there in these Instagram streets and the social media streets. And I look forward to connecting with you guys further.
Oh yeah. So like I said, all my listeners, make sure that y'all not just learning this information, but applying and implementing this information, because she dropped so many gems on Web3. Really, all of the metaverse gave us where to really start. And that's going to be the big key moving forward, is getting a starting point for this new world that's not coming, because it's already here.
Facts. I have to go. I'm so happy that we got to connect. I look forward to seeing this episode.
100%.
Later,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to need everyone to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FY Fly.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly, the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guests. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week, and stay fly.